Check on attendance here real quick. In the list of attendees, we have someone named Anonymous. Oh, never mind. Thought that might be Noe, but it looks like Noe's joining.
I believe we're all here, correct?
I think we're missing a couple people, but we do have quorum. So whenever you'd like to start.
Okay, let's do 3 more minutes. Okay, it's 5 minutes past 6:30. I think we can start. Welcome everyone. Can I start with the meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission for the month of July? Can I start with a roll call vote, please?
Campos. Quiroz Carter.
Present.
Cencion.
Here.
Carrasco. Sanchez.
Here.
Ibarra.
Here.
Barba.
Here.
Perfect, thank you. All right, now I'm going to ask everyone to please join me as we pledge allegiance to our flag. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, now we have, we're in section 3, presentation and oral communication. Now is the opportunity for anyone that from the public that is wishing to address.
Chair
Yes.
Sanchez, if I could interrupt you for a moment.
Sure.
If we could please provide a motion to excuse commissioners that are not present today.
Okay. Do we have a motion to dismiss the commissioners that aren't here today?
I'll motion to dismiss, to excuse commissioners not present.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Just real quick, before we vote, Marco, can you clarify if the commissioners that are not on the call informed us if they were going to be absent tonight?
Yes, I did not receive a confirmation from Commissioner Campos. And Carrasco, no response if they were going to be able to attend today.
Thank you. Just want to make that point of clarification. So with this process here, it gives the commission an opportunity to either excuse or I guess by way of no action, not excuse those who are absent who have not called in previously to ask that they be excused. Basically what this mechanism is for is to be able to track unexcused absences of commissioners and to be able to help replace commissioners as needed for those who aren't able to make a large number of meetings. So it could be an action or a non-action of the commission tonight to not vote on this and allow these absences to be considered unexcused. And then what we could do at the following meeting is that if those commissioners are there, they can request that commissioners then excuse their absence if they want to explain or provide an explanation or whatever it may be. So want to put that out there also in the case that others may want to think about that.
Okay, thanks, Nick. All right, now we're in point 3, presentation, oral communication. Any member from the general public that would like to address the Parks and Recreation Commission, now is the time. Note that no action or discussion shall be taken from any items presented to the commission at this time. And everyone that is going to speak, we ask that you please announce yourself, your name. You'll be given 3 minutes. Do you have anyone from the public that's interested in speaking?
Sorry, before we get to that, I think we have to vote on the motion that's on the floor to excuse the 2 commissioners.
Sorry, I'm really eager for the common input.
No problem.
But you're right, there's a motion on the table and we have a second. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Campos, Quiroz Carter,
Yes.
Cencion,
Yes.
Carrasco, Sanchez,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Barba.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Now let's do the presentations and oral communication. Do we have any member from the public that's interested in speaking or addressing the commission today?
Yes, we have Anna Hudson who would like to provide comment.
All right.
Let me get your timer on, Anna.
Hello, my name is Anna Hudson. I'm sorry, I'm new to this and I I can't really see anything at the moment, but I'm speaking on behalf of my family for the Watsonville Buddhist Temple and my crest and my symbol. Is this for that? I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking right now. I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you. I think your comment is in relation to the approval of the images for Watsonville Brillante, which I think we're going to take on as item number 7A tonight. So we're not quite there yet.
Okay, then I'll raise my hand later.
Thank you, Anna.
Do we have anybody else from the community that would like to address the commission at this time?
Okay.
Okay.
Understand.
Seeing none from the commissioners, any oral communications? Does anyone have any comments, thoughts, anything that happened, events that they attended this past week? I know I saw some of you at the movable murals that we had on May 4th. We had a nice kickoff for that. We had several of the artists that were there that were present. It was really good to see these bright murals in our community. Opportunity for the members of the community to take pictures at different landmarks across our beautiful city. And just want to thank the artists that were all responsible for that. And to, that helped make our community a little bit more brighter. So, so definitely enjoy that, and definitely think it's a good addition to our community. We also had a pretty good turnout, I believe, for the 4th of July. We had the Watsonville band playing. We had a bike ride with the mayor. There was a really good turnout, really good family community event, and really, really thankful and appreciative of the city for doing that. Didn't have fireworks on the July 4th, but those are coming. Those are coming on Labor Day, which is right around the corner. So if there's no further comments or questions from the commissioners, now we have the director's report with Nick.
Good evening, everyone. Jessica just joined us as well. Welcome, Jessica. I had just a few things to report on tonight. We are full swing in the middle of summer and are continuing to ebb and flow and weave through guidelines and restrictions and so forth. And I'm sure many of you have already seen the new guidance from the county that is now recommending that masks be worn indoors in all public settings, regardless if you're vaccinated or not. So that there aren't a ton of implications for our programming as far as that mandate goes, but it is something that we're continuing to monitor and try to do our best to help slow the spread of COVID-19 throughout our community. So the one thing that I think we're really excited to report on tonight is that July is Parks and Recreation Month. So this is the time of year and the month that we celebrate all things Parks and Recreation and the impact that it has on our community. I'm not going to go too far into depth because I don't want to steal Imelda's thunder, who's going to provide us with a presentation on all the great activities that are happening this month in just a little bit here. But also did want to highlight that August 8th is our Strawberry Festival. So again, we're running a one-day festival this year. Super, super excited that it's coming back for 2021. So that's Sunday, August 8th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. in downtown Watsonville. So come out and hang out and join us. We've got lots and lots of exciting booths and art vendors and art activities and food and entertainments that will be available for the whole family. So we hope to see you all there. Wanted to make a note too that National Night Out, which normally takes place on the first Tuesday of August, is going to be moved to the first Tuesday of October this year, similar to how we moved it last year, due to scheduling changes that are COVID related and whatnot. It kind of just works out better timing wise for us well, since National Night Out and the Strawberry Festival always end up on the same week, which makes for a lot of craziness for both our departments, along with Public Works and the Police Department, to have these two large events that happen kind of back to back. So again, that's going to be the first Tuesday in October instead of the first Tuesday in August like it normally is. Wanted to give a quick update too on all of the projects that are happening out at Ramsey Park. At the last council meeting a week or two ago, the council awarded the construction agreement with Granite Construction to move forward with the Watsonville Slough Connector Trail project. So we're going to be scheduling kind of our kickoff meeting and get moving on that project towards the end of this month, and we'll hopefully kind of break ground in August or early September, and we'll be underway with those improvements that are all included in that project. So that's super exciting. The council also awarded a design agreement with Verde Design Incorporated to draw out the construction documents for the soccer field, the multi-use field, the playground, the dog park, and the picnic areas out at Ramsey Park as well. So we're really excited to launch that project as well. We'll kick that one off probably in September or October of this year, and look forward to working with all of you on the commission, along with the whole community, on kind of the nuts and bolts of what all of these spaces could actually look like, really kind of at the more granular level than we got into with the overall park master plan. So the community input plan for that project is kind of multifold. Typically with these large projects, there's certain milestones where we approve plans at. So those typically are at like the 30%, the 60%, and the 95% kind of plan design. And so at all three of those stages, we're going to bring plans back to the Parks and Rec Commission for review and input, so that you all have a chance to take a look at what's being discussed and how things are going to look. Everything from, you know, where the lights are going to go, to how big the permanent benches and seating is going to be, and so forth. So it's going to be a really exciting process. We have a couple general community meetings that are planned before the 30% and the 60% as well. So we'll hold a couple meetings apart from the Parks and Rec Commission meeting for the general public. And then of course, the public can also attend the Parks and Rec Commission meetings as well to provide their input at that point also. Layered on top of that, we have two meetings scheduled with the city council as well at the 30% and the 95% marks for our design. And so that's kind of a third layer of opportunity for the council and the community to weigh in on direction and our plans. So it's going to be a long process. We anticipate that design process will take about 1.5 years or so. We're hoping to have things wrapped up for design by the end of December 2022, and be ready to bid that project out to go into construction in early 23. And again, currently we have funds in the CIP for the build out of the soccer field and all the other, the soccer field and the dog park, I should say. But the other elements of the park that we're going to be designing now aren't fully funded at this point. There's going to be opportunities in the next few months to talk about how the city spends its ARPA money, some of which could be used to help support kind of parts of this project as well. And then of course we can talk kind of more about potential capital campaigns and community giving campaigns and whatnot, also to help support these projects. So that's what's happening at Ramsey. Wanted to recognize our teammates of the month from the past couple of months. So for the month of June, our very own Imelda Negrete, who's going to be in front of you tonight. Our recreation superintendent was named our star of the month. And then for, and I should just say too, while we're talking about Imelda has been an amazing team player throughout this whole 1.5 years that we've gone through of craziness. She's worn so many different hats and has done it all with a smile on her face, and has worked on everything from her normal job to marketing to running our few sports programs that we've been able to bring back, along with leading the charge on a lot of these large special events that we're pulling together as well. So we definitely couldn't do what we do without Imelda's work. So really wanted to thank her for all of her efforts and energy and work and inspiration this past year. For the month of July, Eddie Gonzalez is our star of the month. He is a recreation assistant who over this past year has worked in our Excel in Place program. So with our pods of young people throughout the school year, helping to provide distance learning support and enrichment activities. And this summer, he's at our PAL site at the youth center, and every day makes a difference in young people's lives. He's one of those employees and rec leaders or rec assistants that the kids just gravitate to and love to follow and hang out with. And we're really thankful to have him on our team as well. My last update, just wanted to talk a little bit about upcoming PRC meetings. As Marco's email stated, I think last week, our August meeting is going to be moved to the third Monday of the month. So that's August 17th. And that's just to keep in line with our meetings that are this month in July and in September, both of which were moved due to holidays. So to not meet again in a couple weeks, because if we were to meet, at a regular meeting schedule in August, we'd be back here at the table again in just like a week and a half or so, or 2 weeks. We're pushing that to August 17th. So again, that's a change in schedule, but August 17th at 6:30. And then our September meeting, the schedule for September 20th, is going to be our first meeting back in person. Hopefully, as long as this variant doesn't get the best of us and things don't trend too far in that direction. The council is planning to be back in person beginning their first meeting in September when they come back from summer recess, and all of our commissions are hopefully going to come back in person in alignment with that as well. So September 20th, at least as of today, we'll plan to meet in person at the council chambers on the fourth floor of the Civic Plaza. And that concludes my report for tonight.
Thank you, Nick.
Excuse me, Chair. This is Adriana. Can I make a quick correction, Nick? The August meeting is Monday, August 16th.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Sorry
sorry about that. I don't want anybody to mark it on their calendar and go, wait, we changed the day. It's Tuesdays now. No, it's Monday, August 16th at 6:30.
Okay, thank you for the correction.
All right. Yeah, so thanks again for the reports. And again, on behalf of the commission, I want to congratulate Imelda and Eddie for all the hard work, for helping us with our programs and making the Parks and Community Service Department as great as it is. Thank you. Now moving along, we have the consent agenda. Do we have any questions or comments about the minutes for the month of May? I did notice while I was reading it that at least I couldn't see a adjournment time. So if we can, on the final version, make sure that we have a time for when the meeting was adjourned, I think that would be great. Any other comments or questions? If not, is there a motion to approve?
It looks good. I'll motion to approve with your correction.
Thanks, Brandon. Is there a second?
I will second.
Thanks, Vanessa. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Campos, Quiroz Carter,
Yes.
Cencion,
Yes.
Carrasco,
Yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Barba.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so now we have the presentation for today. Like Nick mentioned earlier, we have Imelda who's gonna be with us right now to talk about July being Park and Recreation Month. Take it away, Imelda.
Hi, good evening. Let me actually get my presentation going. I don't know how to share. Great. All right, perfect. So, good evening, commissioners. My name is Inanda, and I'm the recreation superintendent for the department. And I'm here to talk to you about July and why it's such a fabulous month, because it is July, it's Parks and Recreation Month.
Oh, Imelda, if you have your presentation up, we can't see it.
You can't see it? Can we see it now?
There we go.
Hold on. Now full screen?
There it is.
Yay. So yeah, I'm definitely not tech savvy, but I am recreation savvy. And so yeah, I'm here to talk about Parks and Recreation Month. So the NRPA, which stands for the National Recreation and Park Association, actually is a leading not-for-profit organization dedicating to building strong, vibrant, and resilient communities through the power of parks and recreation. And they are actually the ones behind these efforts of recognition for Parks and Recreation professionals, as well as recognizing July as Parks and Recreation Month. So since 1985, we have actually celebrated July as Parks and Recreation Month. Oops, and there's a typo, sorry. So during the July, we want to make sure that we recognize the parks and recreational professionals along with our part-time, seasonal workers, as well as our volunteers that help maintain our country's local, state, and community parks. And the U.S. House of Representatives passed an official resolution in 2009 claiming July is Parks and Recreation Month and introduced that resolution in 2017 and 2018. So every year, the NRPA establishes a theme each year, and this year's theme is our park and recreation story. So what does that mean? It's that we want people to share with us their stories of what parks and recreation mean to them. So the importance of parks and recreation has never been so apparent as during this pandemic. From fresh air, exercise, and access to the green spaces, all have a positive effect on our physical health and emotional well-being. As we all know that Watsonville is stronger, more vibrant, and more resilient because of parks and recreation and the outlets we provided during this time. And we want, like I said, and we want the community to share their stories and memories about what we mean to them. So for the month of July, we want everyone to come and celebrate with us. Here on your screen, you'll see we have a page dedicated on our website, watsonvilleRec.com, directly about July is Parks and Recreation Month. And so we want people to tag us on their stories and using our Park and Rec stories, my Watsonville Park story, and July's Parks and Recreation Month. So in that page itself, you are able to download a calendar, and this calendar actually it gives you more of an outlet and ideas of what to do during July. It's a perfect time to see what we have to offer and what and actually also not only that, it also lets you know about our special events that we are doing and suggestions to help you discover parks and recreation. And of course, some of the things that we are doing that happen to align with Parks and Recreation Month is actually we do have our Music in the Plaza concert series that's back this year. We have 2 concerts. We had 1 concert on July 8th. The next one is coming up this Thursday on July 22nd with Rumba Café con Dinamita. It's kind of like a tribute to Sonora Dinamita, like a cover band. And so all concerts start at 6 p.m. And then from there, we also have every Friday for the month of July. We actually have movies at the park at Callahan Park. And movies usually start about, even though it says at 8 p.m., we usually start like around 8:15, 8:30. We put it at enough time where you're able to see the screen. So I do recommend that you bring your blankets and lawn chairs and some goodies to eat and come and enjoy a movie. This next Friday that's coming up, we will be showing The Croods, the new age, the second part of The Croods. And then our final one will be next Friday, and we'll be watching Pokemon Detective. Other activities that we are doing in celebration of Parks and Rec Month, or actually that align with that, is this Friday we are offering free recreational swimming. So if you have the ability to go out this Friday between the hours of 1:15 and 2:55, we invite you to join us at the Watsonville High School pool, where we're going to be offering free recreational swimming. And we also want you to enjoy the Mayor's Project with the outdoor frames. And here you'll see actually Katie, our older adult supervisor dog and husband, taking a picture. And then one thing that we also have on our page is actually we want people to definitely discover our parks. And what we did is we ended up creating this Parks and Trails. It was actually for our Park RX initiative that we currently are working with, collaborating with. And this one actually has all the park amenities that all our parks have, as well as a QR code, so that way you're able to see exactly kind of this little amenity chart for your convenience. And I'd like to end that. My presentation is just short and sweet, and I just want to kind of, I was looking for a quote to end this presentation with, and I looked up Parks and Recreation quotes, and all they came up with were a lot of the Leslie Knope ones. And so, but I did find this one that I felt was a little bit relevant, and I kind of find it like, if bread is the first necessity of life, recreation is a close second. And this one was by Edward Bellamy. And I know that Adriana, our senior admin analyst, did say we do need water and air, but I feel like, hey, recreation is a close second. So I definitely agree with that. And I hope that you are all able to participate in our Parks and Recreation Month activities. If not, if you're not able to because of our busy schedule, I would definitely, if you're able to help spread the word and direct people to our website or to our social media, so that way they can participate and discover what we have to offer.
Thank you, Imelda, for that report.
No problem.
Do you have any questions or comments from any of the commissioners? Clarifying questions or thoughts? I just want to thank again Imelda and thank the whole team for keeping our programs going. I think it was personally, I've appreciated open space, and I think a lot of more people appreciate it now than before. I was reading an article that national parks, they're crowded. There are a lot of people that are just going outdoors and experiencing nature. So I definitely am thankful that we have good locations here that we can do that as well, be outdoors, and that the city is doing what it can to support people being outdoors and getting in touch with nature. So thanks again for your help with that.
Thank you.
All right, if there are no other questions or comments, then we're going to move along. So we have two approvals that are in front of us today. The first one was we're going to look at the final vertical section and the horizontal images of the Watsonville Brillante art project here at the downtown. We have Adriana, who's going to lead us with that one.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Good evening, Commissioners. Again, Adriana Flores, Senior Administrative Analyst. I'm sharing my screen right now. Can you see my screen? Yes, okay, perfect. So again, like our Chair said, we're reviewing and recommending for approval the final vertical section and all of the horizontal images of the Watsonville Brillante art project. And this is on city property. It's on the 2nd Street parking garage. I'm sure that everybody who has passed by there has noticed the garage being transformed into this beautiful art piece. So I'm going to go ahead and present on the final vertical first. So we are recommending that the Parks and Rec Commission approve the large vertical image called Flower Grower, and it's here on your screen right now from artist Juan Fuentes. This is for the Watsonville Brillante project, as well as the smaller cultural heritage images for the horizontal sections at the 2nd Street parking garage. And I'll go ahead and show those to you in a few moments. To give you a bit of background on this project, this project has been going on since 2018. It was a proposal by artist Kathleen Crescetti, and she named it Watsonville Brillante, and she wanted to make the Rodriguez Street parking garage into a landmark artwork. This is her words, into a landmark artwork while empowering and employing the youth of Watsonville. In 2019, the City Council approved the project. And in August of 2019, this body approved the first image named Strawberry Picker. That has already been completed. And on March 2nd, the Parks and Rec Commission again approved the 2nd and 3rd images of the project. Those are named Apple Picker and Hermanita, and those two were chosen through community voting. This project is a concept that is a 5-year project to really transform the downtown garage in Watsonville with mosaics, creating this monumental artwork. So all of this art is made out of mosaics. The 4 vertical sections will be black and white images with a little bit of color. They are all by Juan Fuentes. Juan Fuentes, as you know, may know, was raised in Watsonville. He's a renowned local Chicano artist, and he graduated from here, Watsonville High School. So he is a local artist here. The horizontal sections come from a 2-year open call for artists. This resulted in 390 entries from 345 individuals. 325 of the submissions were from local middle and high school students. So a great majority was from our own students here in Watsonville. In April and May of 2021, a curated section of these images were offered to the community for voting. And the voting was conducted both online through SurveyMonkey, as well as hard copy voting at the library. And the chosen images were then arranged in an order of immigration to Watsonville and placed into architectural drawings to form a sort of timeline. And you can see them in this next image, which I'm gonna show here. This is kind of a mock-up of what they will look like once they are placed. The project timeline. So it's been the artist Ms. Crescetti has gone ahead and broken this project into 10 phases, 4 of which have already been approved by this body. And so the images for the next 6 phases is what is before you today. So it's the large vertical image that you see here, and then all of the smaller images along the horizontal sections. So phase 5, which is 1,200 square feet of mosaics, is scheduled to be fabricated in August through August 2021 through March of 2022, to be installed in March of 2022. And this is for the flower grower image. Phase 6 through 10 are all of the horizontal images that will be laid out and installed for a final ending date of approximately August 2024. These These images are compiled of fire clay tiles. That's what's used here. They're installed by Rinaldi Tile and Marble. They're union tile installers. They've performed outdoor tile installation for various large scale projects across California. So they're very experienced in this. The proposed images, as you can see, is of an Asian American woman, excuse me, an Asian woman with roses as the last image. So that's, you can see that there. And then all of the horizontal sections represent cultural heritage of the people who have immigrated to Watsonville. And again, they're placed in an order of their arrival here to Watsonville. And we do have let me stop sharing for a second. Well, let me see. Here's the images that you saw before. And then here's the right-hand car parking entrance to side of Riverside. That's how a mock-up of how they would look. And then here is the post office side with two of the images that are currently on there, the strawberry picker and the apple picker that the artist provided. Let me stop sharing my screen and I'll go ahead and invite Ms. Crescetti to go ahead and speak. I believe she has a brief presentation for you as well. Kathleen, are you able to unmute yourself?
I have just unmuted and now I'm
Great.
looking to share my screen. Thank you so much,
Awesome.
Adriana. Nice presentation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Are you seeing my screen that says
Yes.
Watsonville Brillante on it? Okay, so I'm not sure how to view it bigger or differently. I think I'll just go.
You're good there. Yeah, it looks great.
Okay, so some of you are new commissioners, so I just wanted to give a little background, though Adriana's done a nice job already. This is from the mayor's Facebook page, and I love how Watsonville Brillante is becoming part of our city scene, and that this was the staging area for the 4th of July bike ride. We are located at the Museo Mosaic Arts Center. The city's rented us the community center, so we provide after-school volunteer opportunities for youth and the community at large. The youth are earning community service credit hours, which they need for graduation from high school to be with us. So in addition to making these large-scale mosaics for the city, they get to hang out with their friends. We provide food, they listen to the music that they like. It's a pretty relaxed, creative environment. And we're really happy to finally be moving out of COVID and having more and more people show up. So I guess we're going to be going back to masking. Okay, so we, in between working on Watsonville Brillante, we've done a couple smaller projects for the city, and this is one of them, the new library floor. So during COVID, all of our work was installed when people were all in lockdown. The first one happened, the apple picker was in April, excuse me, the strawberry picker was in April of 2020. And then the apple picker was in October of 2020. And in between those two, we did a glass on glass mosaic for Ramsey Park. And this design was by Jaime Sanchez, one of our local favorites. So these are just some photos of volunteers engaging at the museo with us. But during COVID, since that wasn't possible, we made this trailer, which allows people to make mosaics in an outdoor setting. So we're at Farmers Market every Friday. I've also been going to homeless service centers, and we offer team building exercises for local communities. Like we've had youth now, and we're working with PDPSA to get their staff over, or we'll go to them to create opportunities for people to get to know each other while creating art for the city. I think these are the youth now people. And then this is Rinaldi Tile and Marble. We build them on 4 by 8 foot sheets of plywood, And then we deliver them to the garage and Rinaldi Tile and Marble installs. They're a professional tile installation company. Hermanita is happening now. She will be done hopefully by the end of September. And you can sort of see her through the netting. This one is the image that Adriana talked about for a little bit of the Asian woman. We did not, in the previous 3 phases, we put out Juan's images for the community to vote on. In this particular case, we wanted to do some racial diversity. We have the universal man who is the apple picker. The strawberry picker is definitely Mexican. You can tell that by the imagery that's behind him. And then Hermanita is an indigenous person. So we asked Juan to make an Asian person image for us, which is a little bit outside his normal image making, but he does have sister-in-law and some nieces and nephews who are Asian, so he felt comfortable doing that for us. And Adriana did mention that we had 390 total entries for the horizontal sections, 345 individual contributors with 325 youth entries. And we did have both online and in-person voting, with 57 people voted at the library, which is kind of great because it was right when they had just opened and not too many people were going yet, with 1,905 electronic votes being recorded through SurveyMonkey. I think there are at least 2 youth who would like to comment on their images, but I wanted to read, we have 7, we sent out to the youth who won, letting them know that this meeting was happening and asking them if they wanted to participate by coming in and commenting or by sending us their comments. And we have 17 comments. I have them here in my slideshow. I won't read them all, but I did want to share just 3. And so there are testimonials from youth. And this one, she really captures the whole essence of our project. So I'm going to read this one for you from Margaret Machado. Dear 2021 Park and Recreation Commission of Watsonville, although I am unable to attend this meeting in person, I would like to convey my thoughts and feelings on this matter. I am one of the proud youth artists selected by the Watsonville Brillante Project, with hopes that my artwork will be displayed with many others. Originally, I entered my artwork as a school art project with little intention that my work would actually be selected. However, like others, I put lots of thought and time into my piece. Because my choice was based on my ancestry, I could talk to my grandfather and ask him about the culture of my family comes from. Talking to him and using research brought me closer to not only completing my piece, but wouldn't have been able to do without the insight into my family's culture. After all this, I realize now that this project is not just about cultural representation, but about the people of Watsonville's connection to these cultures. When we explore and display these cultures, it allows us to recognize that we all, despite our backgrounds, live here. We are all part of Watsonville, while still retaining our pride and individual connections to our cultures. This is what this wonderful project has taught me about culture. If this project continues, then I hope others can learn this too from the mosaics. My hope is people can learn more about one another and therefore be a more connected people from these works. By allowing this project to continue, you support people and youth like me, celebrating and discovering both our individual cultures and our shared connections as residents of Watsonville. I am 14 years old and excited to represent Portugal in this diverse project. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Margaret Machado. The next one I wanted to share with you, it's a bit shorter, but it's quite nice because it shows the range of entries. This one is from Sonia Geyer, to whom it may concern. I am thrilled to be part of this project that brings together all the many cultures that have contributed to this community. We want the world to know of our unity and diversity. This would be a wonderful statement to others and a constant reminder to ourselves. Cordially, Sondra Geyer, age 72, which is one of the reasons I really wanted to put Sondra in there, because we have people from age 14 to age 72 represented as the artist in our project here. So there, Adriana has the rest of those, and I can read more if you like, but I actually wanted to go, oh my gosh, do I have that image? Shoot, here we go. So I wanted to point out something with the images that I have of the garage. You'll notice that under the apple picker, there are 3 blank spaces, and that over here, I've left also a few blank spaces. What's happening here is that when we put out the call for cultural representation, the first thing I did was had a list, and this list was based on research done by Sandy Leiden, which I found at the Historical Society, and identified different cultures of people in Watsonville. The list was then further expanded because we've been collecting the cultural heritages of people who live here. And we discovered we had 500 different families submit their cultural heritages, which increased our list to 109 cultures. So then we put it out to the artist call, and we had these 345 student artwork submitted, 325 student artworks submitted. And in that process, we gained another 20 cultures because there are many people who are newer to our community, which I hadn't been aware of. And so what we have here, this is Saudi Arabia, this is Palestine, here's Qatar, we have Yemen and Israel and several other Middle Eastern countries. And they're here on the furthest right-hand side near the strawberry picker. Over here by the the flower grower, here on the left are representations of indigenous cultures. And then coming across the top, there's Spain, then the Braceros, who came mostly from Baja California, China, Japan, the Irish, Portuguese, African-American, then the Danes. And then it starts this whole wave of immigration from Europe. So here's Germany, France, Switzerland. And when we come over to the next side, Greece, Croatia, Italy, and on and on and on with all the Europeans, which then gets us to Eastern Europe, where we have Russia, Lithuania. And after the Eastern Europeans, then we had another wave of Mexico. And for Mexico, we represented all 14 states from Aguascalientes all the way to Zacatecas. And so those are, most of them are, well, half of them are here. This is Michoacan, Jalisco, Toluca, Yucatan. And then on the other side, oh, I don't have that image here. I'm missing one of my image that Adriana had, but it's not in my slideshow. So then we come over here, we have, I'm not showing you the countries from South America, but we do have a whole bunch from the Asian islands, from Samoa to Fiji, Thailand and Taiwan. And then we get into the most recent immigration, which is coming from the Middle East. But I did want to point out that I have blank spaces. These are the blank spaces that I'm showing you right here. And the reason we have blank spaces is that even just 3 weeks ago, somebody contacted me and said, hey, you don't have Cajun people up there. So we added Cajun. In point of fact, for Africa, we have just Africa and Morocco. But it's quite possible that between now and 2024, there will be people coming out of the woodwork saying, hey, our countries aren't represented yet. I fully expect this. We have a very, our website has all of this information on it, the countries that are represented. And after your approval tonight, we'll be attaching the images that belong to each country with that list. And if people don't see their country, they can contact us and we can add it. So I'm asking for some leeway in allowing us to fill these blanks as needed, as we find more cultural representation needed. There are some areas here, I wonder if I can zoom in, where we have, nope, that didn't help much. We have mixed heritages in the images as well. So it's a little bit hard to see, but right here in the center, you see that white flower, that's a rose, Tudor rose. So that's the UK. And it's sitting on top of a background from France. Down below that, we have the German pattern with an overlay from a bicycle from Denmark. And so what we did was we took the cultural heritages that were given to us by the 500 people who are in town, and we did some overlays for some of the extra spaces. So for instance, you'll see here that the big one on top is Portugal. This is the background by Margaret Machado. And the crown is by a different artist whose name right now is escaping me. But then this one down below is a combination where the Portuguese crown is overlaid over the tile that we have for Spain. So there are some mixed heritage pieces in there. And we tried to get, so every heritage is represented at least once by the giant, big 8-foot long horizontal section. And then many others are represented again in a half section where mixed heritage folks have images represented. And I think that's it, unless you have questions or if you'd like me to read some more. So in your packet, you have all your packet is really long this month because I included every image that was submitted by all the folks who participated, and well, not all of them. You don't have 390 entries in images, you have 125 from the images that were selected. So unless you'd like me to read more testimonials, or if you have questions, I think I'm done with my presentation.
Thank you, Kathleen, for sharing that with us. I believe we have somebody, one of the artists here, to speak a little bit about their piece. Is that correct? I would love to hear from them if possible.
Yes, I believe we had a young woman that had spoken up.
Yeah, no, that would be great if she's still willing to speak, but be more than happy to listen.
Okay, Anna, I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you.
Hello, my name is Anna Hudson. I don't know if you have my symbol up there, but I can tell you a bit about mine. I'm an adopted child from Guatemala. I have been raised in a family that doesn't exactly have a specific culture that we look to for traditions. In 5th grade, I joined the Watsonville Buddhist Temple during the summer for the Kokoro no Gakko. And it was there where I found my love for the Japanese culture. And I just really attracted to how they presented themselves in a whole community. My pattern is my family crest. I have created and critiqued over time from that camp. And as for my symbol, the dragon represents balance and freedom and strength. And the traditional Japanese house behind it is being protected by that spirit animal. And what it means to have this opportunity for my artwork to be on the Watsonville Public Library is just an honor, and to be able to be a part of the community in more ways than just being a person that speaks up in the community. My art is up there, and it's not only mine, it's my culture's. And that means a lot to me. So, and as someone who's adopted and doesn't exactly have a culture, I think that's really special to me, to my family, and to the people around me.
Thank you, Anna, for sharing a little bit about yourself and for yeah, being open and sharing that arts with not only us but the entire city. We appreciate it. Are there any questions or comments from any of the commissioners to either yeah, Kathleen or Ana, Adriana? I'm curious, and I don't know, Nick, if we've thought about this, but so this is something that's been going on for a while now, right? A little over a year, and it's going to be a while until it's fully completed, right? I think that August 2024 is our target to end date. Have we thought about potential like ribbon cutting? Would it be a little too premature to do that? Can we have multiple? Can we have once after, the flower girl is done and then another one after all the horizontal images are done? Or have we thought about that, or what's your thoughts?
I'll let Kathleen take that one because I know she's got some thoughts on that.
I would really love to have multiple parties. Certainly one at the very end. We were talking about when Hermanita is finished later this fall, but I think it's a better idea to wait until the strawberry picker, the flower grower is done, celebrate all the verticals, and then do a second one when we have horizontals finished.
Yeah, no, I would really like that. I appreciate, there's a lot of history, there's a lot of story behind, these art pieces, and you don't really get that just by driving by, right? So I think it would be good if we can somehow tie that into, I don't know, a small exhibit in the library as well for those that, do have further questions or want to know names or just a little bit more about them. I think that would be very, very beneficial.
One of the things we're working on in regards to something you just mentioned, which I'm really excited about, is what we intend to do is have an interactive website where you can click on an image and it will say, this represents this particular culture. The artist was this person, and these are the last names of folks in Watsonville who share that heritage. So it'd be not just interactive, but one kind of like a wiki project where you could find your culture and add your name to that list.
Nice. Yeah, I like that interactive. And I'm all for multiple parties as well. So got my vote on that one. Any other comments or questions?
I just want to say, thanks for sending us the individual pictures. I've been looking at them, and like Abel said, it would be awesome for people to see them up close, because I couldn't really tell much with the larger picture, but now that I'm looking at them, I'm like, wow, like some of these are really amazing. So thanks for sending those.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. No, and what an awesome opportunity to leave your bookmark, in the city, to leave your place, especially for the youth, right? For them to hopefully stick around and, live their life here. But if they do end up going somewhere else, they can come back and know that, hey, you know what, this is home, and a little piece of me is still here. So that's awesome. Thank you for putting this all together.
I love telling the youth who come work for us, who make the mosaics, like, you can show your grandparents, hey, I did that. And then 50 years from now, you can show your grandchildren, hey, I did that when I was your age.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Just another little aside, the youth in particular have been emailing me a lot since we got these images in January. We're paying them stipends, but I said that it's contingent on the approval of this board and the city council. So they're all just waiting.
No pressure. Well, knowing that, let's move things along.
Are there any, Chair, can I ask if there's any other members of the public that'd like to raise their hand? I see 2 on there that sent in an email, and if they're too shy, I can read their email. They're very short. Would the commission like that?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'll read the first one. I see they're online here. This is from, it says, Dear Parks and Recreation Commission, my name is Nick Mantua and I'm 12 years old. My mosaic design was selected for the Watsonville Brillante Parking Garage project. When I first heard about the project, I was very interested. I love to draw and I really enjoy the public murals and mosaics in Santa Cruz and Watsonville. I was eager to be able to submit my own design for consideration. When I found out I had been selected, I was very excited. I'm grateful to be able to share some of my heritage and history with my community. I think the parking garage project is a wonderful way to showcase different heritages and cultures while also making something beautiful for the neighborhood. I hope you approve this project. I can't wait to start it. Thank you for your time and consideration. Nick Mantua, Mission Hill Middle School. And then there's a second person on the line that or on the call that also sent us an email and said, Michoacán, mi papá le gusta la música del mariachi, guitar with graphics inspired by friend's father. Miguel Mendoza was born and raised in Michoacán. He married the love of his life and the couple had 8 children. Both husband and wife came to Watsonville for months at a time working in the fields. The children were taken care of by grandma. Eventually they were able to get year-round work and were able to bring each of the children to Watsonville as they could afford it. Over the years, they put all the children through school. Several have earned a college degree and work and live in our community. I admire their perseverance to achieve their dreams. Uruguay, free to live, sun and scarf. In the late 1970s, there was a military dictatorship in Uruguay. Tens of thousands of men and women and children disappeared. Targets included students, writers, journalists, and artists. My friend was a college student at the time, and seeing this was happening was terrorizing. She was able to flee the country and came here for safety. The scarf symbolizes the missing. A group of mothers, Plaza de Mayo, began demonstrating and demanded their children be released and the kidnappers brought to justice. Today in villages in Uruguay, you will see scarves painted on walls and sidewalks with the name and date of a person that disappeared. Over the years, my friend has been able to return to see her family. She has raised her children here in Santa Cruz County. One of her daughters is now an immigration lawyer, helping other people come to this country. I was born and raised in Watsonville. The stories of my friends, coworkers, and neighbors have inspired me. I'm honored to be a part of this community and of this project. These stories intertwine, enrich us, and teach us about the world. Thank you for your consideration. Guy Muir. Those were the two that were sent in to our department, 2 emails.
Nice. Thanks for reading that, Adriana.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Nick and Guy, for sharing a little bit about your story with us. We really appreciate it.
Chair, we also have another guest attendee that would like to comment.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Heidi, I unmuted you. You can speak now.
Thank you. My name's Heidi Alonso. I'm a resident of Watsonville. I'm also a teacher at St. Francis High School, and I teach art, and I actually had all of my students contribute to this project, and a number of them were selected. And at first, kids are kids. They hear about a project and it's a school assignment, so they do what they do. Some of them really get into it. And one thing that I found about this particular project is that once kids understood that they were contributing, that their voices were going to be heard, that their images were going to be seen, they were empowered. And I really can't think of any other public art project which has as many contributors and as many people, especially young children, who actually build the art, and it's beautiful. I just want to give many, many, many kudos to Kathleen. She's a maestra at doing this type of project, and she really knows how to bring the community together to make absolutely beautiful art. And the kids are enriched incredibly. And that's what I'd like to say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi, for sharing your comments with us and for sharing your love as well with the future, the generations. Ms. Corsetti, you had a comment?
Just full disclosure. Thank you, Heidi. I have a nonprofit organization to make this thing work, and Heidi's on my board.
Nice.
Thanks, Heidi.
Any other questions or comments from the commissioners?
Yeah, I had a comment on this and a question as well, actually. Yeah, so first, I want to say, like, this is great. I love how we're taking something that is very expensive and we are now being allowed to draw all over it. Because sometimes, you know, when we walk around downtowns or like cities, like these things don't necessarily belong to us in a sense, but we have the opportunity to now like decorate it and make it ours. And I parked in that building for like a little over 3 years and I see it every day. And it's just like going to be a great reminder to be able to see like these art pieces covering it in like a very positive way. So I want to say thank you for that. I also want to say that I love the idea of leaving the blank spaces for future groups or demographics that could live in Watsonville in the near future. Things are constantly changing, especially being where we're from in the United States. There's all these different migrant groups coming to our country. And, you know, I love how we're leaving this open space to welcome them. But I will say that it would be cool if, I don't know if it's gonna stay blank, because I think that it would look, especially on the right-hand car parking entrance on Riverside, I see a few empty slots. And that's something that's going to be constantly going in and out. And I was wondering, like, maybe if there was thought about painting those squares with like something that's kind of like, I don't know, maybe just geometric. It doesn't really mean anything or represent anyone's culture, but just so it doesn't look unfinished. Because you're going to have all these beautiful tiles and mosaics, and then you're going to have like these empty spots. And someone might think like, oh, that's unfinished, but us who are in this meeting are going to know, no, it's not unfinished. It's just for the future, for a future group that might want to claim that spot. Have we thought about that? That's kind of like my only question, and those are my comments. But thank you, and I love what you're doing. And let's get those kids paid.
Brenda, thank you for that question. I'm actually really glad that you brought it up because that's a point of clarification. In 2024, when it's done, those will be done. So what I'm asking for is leeway, that we don't know what those images are now, but I would like to just have your permission, blessing to fill those spaces as cultures are introduced and brought up to us without, you know, just having to come back. Just like, yes, what she's doing is good. We'll let her have those blanks and fill them as they happen.
Okay. So again, August 2024, right? That's the goal. That's the
goal for the exterior. We have intentions for the interior, but I have to come back to Nick about that.
Can't wait to hear more about that one. All right, any other comments or questions from the commissioners? If there aren't any, then I believe what's being presented to us is a multiple. Yeah, go ahead, Vanessa.
Super quick. I'm just really excited to hear all the youth that were involved in this project and all the youth that wrote in and spoke up today. It's really exciting to see you all getting involved in the community and just being really passionate about building a community. So thank you so much for this project that enabled people to do that.
All right. So yeah, so it seems like there's different segments that are all kind of being grouped together. With the vertical, we had, you know, each one voted separately. And so what's being brought to us is the last vertical one, and then all the horizontals at once. So I think we've had a chance to look at some of the drawings, some of the submissions. If there's no questions, if there's no concerns, then what I'm looking for is a motion to approve those drawings as was presented to us, and then with those, blank spots as well to be filled at a later time. Is someone willing to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll motion to approve.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Noe. And then I think Vanessa, I saw your hand up first. You want a second?
I'll second.
Okay. So I have a first with Noe and a second for Vanessa. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Campos, Quiroz Carter,
Yes.
Cencion,
Yes.
Carrasco,
Yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Barba.
Perfect. So thanks again, everybody. I really look forward to seeing the completed artwork and then to see the progress as well as time progresses.
Chair Sanchez, if you don't mind me interrupting, I think Commissioner Barba is in our attendees list, so he didn't get a chance to reply.
Yeah, I pressed the wrong button and I was trying to get back in, but
okay. So,
I'm in now.
So we just made a motion. Noe made a motion with a second from Vanessa to approve the artworks, as being presented to us for the Mosaics program, and we're just taking a roll call vote.
Yes.
To approve as is. Okay.
Yeah, I approve it. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you, Barbara.
Great. We have that for minutes. Yeah. So again,
Thank you.
Thanks again, Kathleen, for everything that you do, and yeah, we look forward to seeing more. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night. Moving along now to our second application for public art, we have Adriana Flores, who's going to talk to us about some artwork at Ramsey Park.
Yes. So our second application for public art today comes for some artwork at Ramsey Park submitted by an organization called Shared Adventures. And I'm going to share my screen here. It's not much now, but in a minute, I'll show you the images here. The staff is recommending that the Parks and Rec Commission approve this application for public art submitted by Shared Adventures. This organization is a Santa Cruz County nonprofit organization that has been providing recreational activities for the disabled community since 1992. In addition to the many recreational activities, Shared Adventures also has a studio art program, and the lead art teacher is Anastasia Torres Gil. She has worked with hundreds of challenged participants, kids and adults in Santa Cruz and Watsonville. What this project consists of placing a mural on the restroom walls at Ramsey Park at the restroom near the soccer field, which is pictured here. This is the east facing wall. On the right here, if the picture were to extend, you would see the soccer field on the right here, our little shed, storage shed, and then the soccer field. And then on the left would be the gate leading to the new pump track and the softball field. These would be movable murals, which would be similar to the ones that are currently placed at City Hall. That concept would be placed here on this wall, and they would feature inspirational images of disabled individuals and athletes. By showing strong images of disabled people, the hope is that it be seen by many and all that visit Watsonville, and that it makes a positive impact, helping to address common negative attitudes and stereotypes toward challenged and disabled community. The location of this project is also ideal, as it will be close to the location of a proposed new all-inclusive playground, which the city is in the beginning stages of designing. And that would be right near to this restroom. So it's an ideal location for this type of project. The lead artist for this is Anastasia Torres Gil, who has been teaching art locally for more than 20 years. She has held various exhibits both locally and throughout the United States, including Mi Casa es Tu Casa from 2017 to 2019. She's received many awards, including her latest in 2020, the first place combating anti-Semitism artwork, among others. And she also has many private collections and many years experience working in the art field. The project is called Adventure is for Everyone, is made up of 7 panels. And here is one. These are the 7 panels of life-size images with a line of text across the bottom and saying Adventure is for Everyone, La Aventura es para todos. And they will be, together they will be 28 feet by 7 feet high. The second part is a wall of fame that is 2 panels made up of 4 4x4 images with a line of text across the bottom. And that will be an 8 foot by 8 foot piece. And if I can move this for a second, I can show you that. That would be going on, what you're seeing in front of you right now is the park restroom. This is the south facing wall. It's near one of the doors. And this is where these images would be placed. And this is a wall of fame is it would be 2 panels of 4 4x4 images. All the panels will be an eighth of an inch with 2 thin aluminum sheets bonded to PVC core. Printed vinyl will be applied to the surface with heavy duty graffiti resistant laminate that will allow solvents to remove graffiti without damaging the image. And all images have received licensing approval from their owners. City staff will assist in mounting the pieces to be attached to the building in similar style as like I said, as the movable murals. But the Shared Adventures art team, including professional installers, will mount the printed panels with temper resistant screws. So what the Hall of Fame is, this is disabled people in our disabled community locally that have won various awards throughout the years. And what we're proposing tonight is for this commission to go ahead and approve the images. And there's 3 style mock-ups. There's this style, the images would be the same. So in the first wall, the Adventures for Everyone, the 7 panels, the pictures are the same, it's just a different style. So image option number 1 is this style. Option number 2 is this different style, and then you'll see option number 3. So as you can see, the images are the same, just the style is different. And so the organization is leaving it up to the commission to go ahead and choose which style they prefer to go on that wall if approved. And then we're hoping that the Hall of Fame would also have the matching style so that it could have a cohesive and a good flow and connect the two walls. And so there's option 2, and then there's the option 3. And we also have, let me stop sharing my screen for a second. We have, oh, it's not on the call anymore. Oh, we do. We have Steve Miller from Shared Adventures who would like to also share a few words about the project. And I'm going to go ahead and let him join us and let him speak. If you want to unmute yourself, Steve.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, Adriana. It was a very nice presentation.
Thank you.
So first, just the concept of a mural presenting, recognizing the disabled community. That's a very powerful thing. Watsonville is very proud of diversity and acknowledging diversity. A segment of the community that's often overlooked in that discussion is the disabled community, or ability diversity. In Watsonville, that's not a prominent identity or discussion to have. And that's something we feel is a great opportunity to make more public and more present, both for disabled individuals themselves to see representations of themselves being acknowledged in public, and for public in general to see disabled athletes The two murals are related. One is, in a sense, conceptual. The Adventures for Everyone, different activities, different images, which I think are very engaging and encompassing. The Wall of Fame, what we call it, the Wall of Fame, are 4 individuals from Santa Cruz County who have made international contributions in their field, in their sports. It's interesting. I've had the opportunity to speak to each of them in this process, and they are very thrilled. They're very big fish in a very small pond. In their field, to be recognized in their own community is a very big thing. Within their sports community, people are already talking about, oh, Santa Cruz County acknowledges and recognizes our disabled athletes. We think this is going to get national recognition. This is a modest thing, a modest project. You don't see this in many places. You know, it's not on the forefront of most communities. And this is a chance for Watsonville to, in a sense, show some leadership in acknowledging the full community. So that's the concept. The actual imagery and process, we're in a funny position here because this is digital imagery. So you don't normally get the choice to say, what image do you like to see? As you can see, there's a range here of different graphic styles. We'd love to get feedback from the commission. And that's something you have an opportunity to respond to. If you've got any more questions, I'm very happy to respond.
Thank you, Steve. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Thoughts about any of the specific styles?
I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Brandon.
So I like the idea of this, and I think it goes well with the what I just read it right now. For the all-inclusive playground that the city's beginning to play, build or plan. One of my concerns, however, is do we or will we in the future, in that whole Ramsey area where it will be redeveloped in the near future, will we offer sports for disabled individuals? Because I feel like this is really promoting that. And if we're not offering that, that's also kind of contradictory in a sense. It's like having a photo of something in a website, but yet you don't offer it. Like, have we thought about that at all?
I can speak a little to that. So I think I'd start by saying that all of our programs are inclusive, right? In the sense that we work towards not turning anyone away for based on abilities or disabilities. That being said, we don't currently have any programs that are specifically designed for folks who may be mobile impaired or have those kind of challenges like are depicted in the images that are in front of you right now. That's not to say that we won't ever. I think that is a place of growth for our department. But I think that also being said, if you look at most of the images that are included here, most of them are kind of individualized sports. Not all of them, obviously. Like I think the soccer image, and the basketball image in particular. But most of the other ones are images of folks who are recreating in ways that I think don't require us to do anything different program-wise. But I think that's a great thought. So I think that is something we can consider in working with Shared Adventures in terms of selecting what images are included in this piece here.
Yeah, I just like I think Steve mentioned that it would be national, and that's just one of my concerns, right? Is like someone's like, well, you got these like beautiful photos, but we can't do any of that technically. Like someone disabled brings that up. I think that was my concern, but I love the idea of the program and I love what it represents. It was just kind of a a thought, because, you know, like people sometimes perceive things very differently when they see photos or like what's being like said. And then they might be like upset when it's like, oh, well, you know, I can't play basketball and I'm in a wheelchair. Like there's no league. Like, why is this even here? Like, I feel like someone might feel left out, but that was just kind of like my thought process when I heard that it would be like national, because that's a lot of people.
If I can just speak to that for a second, it's an interesting point, fair point. I know the Watsonville Recreation Program, which is incredibly broad and full force, doesn't have specific disabled programs. Shared Adventures has kind of filled a gap in the community. We do a number of programs and have reached out to Nick and other county and cities in the county. As Nick pointed out, several of these, in fact, sort of our focus, our theme is on individual adventures. I've seen runners running on Westcliff with prosthetic legs. I've seen climbers at Pacific Edge Gym with prosthetic legs. I think we've all seen wheelchairs walking, running, rolling in interesting places. Hopefully, I have seen people at De La Vega Golf Course, amputee golfers. There is an amputee golf program. I would love someday to see, and I'll throw this back in your court, at Ramsey Park, an All Ability Soccer League. That would be a day that I think you'll all be proud of. So a comment of national recognition in the disabled community, word gets out where there's disabled heroes, disabled recognition. And both the Wall of Fame, where you have these individuals that are heroes in their community, but across their county are not known. Letting people know that there's people like this that live in our town, that have gone to the Paralympics, have gone to Brazil and Beijing and places like that. I think that's very impressive and adds a lot of some food for thought for the community, if that's helpful.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that.
Any other questions or comments from the commissioners?
I have an idea. I think it would be cool maybe in the future. I don't know when this art project will be over or completed, but it would be really cool to maybe even in the future have host a tournament, like a red ribbon cutting of the project, and maybe have an over the weekend, you know, tournament. I don't know, something in the future to think about, because that would be really awesome to see, and to, you know, bring a bunch of different people to Watsonville and check out Watsonville and the art and the tournament. It would bring a lot of people from outside of town. And then for us who've never seen something like that, that would be pretty cool.
I like that. Good idea.
Yeah, I agree. I think like, I mean, not to create more work, but like, I think it'd be cool to have something like that. Especially like, for example, when like the new Ramsey Park breaks ground or something, just have like, you know, it's some sort of disabled event where people can come and like do some sort of sports or something. And I don't know, I'm sure there's nonprofits that kind of specialize in this. And like you said, the disabled community is very close and well connected. I mean, it could be something that brings people from all over the Bay Area to come check out our city and what we're doing and how we're honoring these like athletes. I think that was kind of like where I was getting with it. Like, I think like the images are really cool and they're inspiring, but like, I don't want it to like just be like, oh, this is all we're offering. Like, I want it to be kind of like, you know, this is what we're offering and this is what we do. So yeah, that was kind of, thanks for saying that, Jessica.
By the way, just to add, Cabrillo College Therapeutic Recreation Program has sponsored wheelchair basketball tournaments. I've seen teams play there. So these things are alive in our community, just, you know, hidden from you people who are experts and knowledgeable and care, you know, the 0.1% of the recreation community. This is still a little bit distant and foreign to you. So you can imagine, you know, the guys in the park, this is kind of mind blowing for them.
Yeah, and I think if anything, it serves as like publicity, right? That's the point, to promote it, to talk about it, to have people comfortable to discuss, and to potentially, you know, spread the word of mouth, so that it is more widely known and more commonplace. Any other questions or comments? Do we have anyone from the public that would like to speak on the item, on the subject?
I had a quick question for Nick regarding the accessibility of the restrooms and with the planned playground. For example, with people who use wheelchairs or any kind of walking devices, will they be able to access that, like to be able to see the full mural? Is that going to be accessible to them?
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be. So in the current master plan for Ramsey, the restroom facilities don't move. They'll stay in the same place that they are today. And the location of the playground is planned to be kind of pretty much right behind that existing restroom that this mural's proposed to go on the back of. So what I imagine, and again, this is all to be determined as we work with our landscape architecture firm to work on the construction documents. But the pathway that will lead to the playground, I imagine will kind of meander behind that restroom area. So there will be clear view of that mural from at least that pathway up to the playground. I mean, the current pathway, as it stands today, is right where Adriana is kind of pointing. It goes. We're looking at the back of the restroom where that mural will go, and it's on that right-hand side of the restroom. So even today, it's accessible, and it is, because that restroom sits on the flat part of that hillside, or below the hillside on the flat surface kind of level of the parking lot. I can't imagine that it wouldn't be viewable as we move forward with our plans for the park.
Thank you for the clarification. I just wanted to confirm because it's kind of hard to see and it's hard to imagine where everything will be, you know, when it gets built. So just wanted to confirm that people will be able to like stroll by and like see the nice art and things like that. Thank you.
Do we have any public interested in making a comment, Marco, that you are aware of?
No, not at this moment.
Okay. Well, all right, commissioners. So we have 3 different styles that.
Chair Sanchez, if I
Yeah.
may interrupt, yeah, we do have attendee that would like to speak now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Kathleen, you're ready.
Thank you. It's me, Kathleen. I just wanted to say I'm really excited that this is being considered, and I hope that you vote yes. I love Shared Adventures. They're an amazing group, and just their images are beautiful, and it's such an amazing idea. So vote yes, and thank you. The more
you.
art, the better.
Thank you, Kathleen. All right. So if there are no other questions or comments, yeah, we have 3 styles that have been presented to us. Do we have strong preference for one over the other? Any comments that any of us would like to make on that? I think what was? Yep, go ahead, Brando.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, I like style 1. I want to say I know how these were kind of edited, probably with Adobe, and it kind of, they added effects on top. I think the first style kind of just like highlights and slightly distorts the image and makes it more like cartoony. And I think that's cool. The styles 2 and 3 are more like tiles and texturized. Kind of distorts the images in my opinion. I would do like styles 1. That's just my preference, and I don't know how everyone else feels about that, but just wanted to kind of share that.
Yeah, I agree with Brando. I like style 1 because to me it reminds you of like Loteria or something, or like tarot cards. Like it looks really cool. But I would like to hear from Commissioner Carrasco, who has worked on some murals. Hear what she has to say.
I was actually going with style 1 as well, but I like the colors on number 2, but I want people to be able to see what the body is doing. And I have to say that with style 1, you can really see the activities, and that's the point I feel of the art. So for me, I'm voting style 1. I don't know if we're voting on 1, but that's the one that I like.
No, I agree with Carrasco. I think I really like number 2, the style of it, but do prefer 1 just because it is clear. It is more direct as to this is, you know, what we're trying to promote. Any other questions? Any other comments?
I actually like number 3, but also I'm not really an art professional, so that's just the bottom line.
I think they're all good. I really don't think we can go bad, you know, choosing one over the other. It's just the small details.
Yeah, I was going to mention number 3 as well. I just feel because it looks more of a lighter color and more friendly to, you know, more family oriented actually in that way. So it just seems more appealing to the eye, especially within a park as well.
Okay. So we have 2 sets of images that we are discussing, right? The first one is 7 pictures horizontally, and then we have the 4 in the square format. So I think it was mentioned of choosing kind of the same art style as a recommendation to us. So we can do that, or, you know, if we do feel strongly one over the other, we could potentially split it as well and do 1 and 1. What are you guys' comments on that?
Would we be able to do number 1 and increase contrast to get like higher colors? And it kind of hits everyone's point where it was mainly a color issue versus the textures, like getting a higher contrast and popping out those like reds and like greens and all that stuff and making it like more vibrant. Was that something that could be done by the designer?
Yes, it is. This is a digital process, and you can just wheel up intensity a notch or 2.
I also say that I really like the font on number 1 because it really stands out, and I want people to be able to see it from afar. And that's something that attracted me to number 1 as well.
Okay. What is the timeline for the installation?
So the installation will begin approximately a month following approval, and then it takes about 3 days for installation for completion.
Okay. So
And I'm just going back and forth between the Hall of Fame and the adventures for everyone, so you can see the differences and choose the style that you like best. I know you have them in your packet, but.
So if we did decide to have a 4th option, that would push back the project for about another month.
I don't know that it would be for another month. I think since they're digital, it's probably something they can do fairly quickly, fairly easily.
We'd have to discuss in August, correct?
I think only if the commission wants the image to come back for final approval. But I think if what you could do is make a motion tonight to accept image image number 1, with the caveat that that we work on the contrast of the colors, and then we just move forward. If you're okay with that, or yeah, we could delay it again and have the final image come back to the council, to the commission.
Okay. Yeah, so that sounds like, to kind of please everybody, that blend, that combination of both the text of number 1 and then kind of slight modification of the pictures. So I would assuming that would be then sent via email for us to review and look at.
I think we would, well, we could send it via email just so everybody sees it. I think if you want to move forward in that way, in terms of making a motion tonight, by accepting the image and changing the contrast, then we could just send it through email, so everyone can take a look at it without a vote through email. So that's one option. And the other option would be Shared Adventures can work on the changes to the image and then bring it back to the August meeting for final approval. I think it just depends on how much final approval, say, the commission wants to have.
Okay. Well, what do we feel comfortable with?
I'd say let's push it forward, and I'm comfortable with them increasing the contrast and just kind of bringing the vibrancy up. And I don't think we would need further approval and wait a few months to look at it again. That's just my opinion, though.
Okay. Any other questions or thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Brenda. I'd like to get the ball rolling on this project. And I just wanted to clarify if I thought we wanted to do matching styles, or was that something that was up for debate, if we wanted to do one style in one, or the first mural in one style and then the other one in a different style, or are we doing matching styles?
So that was what was recommended to us to kind of have like a cohesion between those two images. That came as a recommendation.
Great.
So, all right, did I hear, is that a motion that I hear?
Yeah, I'll motion that.
Okay.
I'll motion to approve images 1 and 1 for cohesion, and then increase vibrancy in the art and get the project going.
All right. So this should be for both images, correct? Or both sets of artworks?
Yeah, unless we have to do it separate. I was thinking like image 1 vertical and then the 4 collage of the athletes from Santa Cruz County, 1 and 1.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And just for clarity's sake, by sorry, I can't speak. By vibrancy, you mean to adjust the contrast to make the brighter colors more bright.
Correct. Like how like everyone was saying they liked like the vibrancy of 3, like the sweater's almost like pink or like a light bright color and all that. Yeah. So just like that quick edit.
All right, so we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Great. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Campos, Quiroz Carter,
Yes.
Cencion,
Yes.
Carrasco,
Yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Ibarra,
Yes.
Barba.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. I look forward, again, another art piece to look forward to in our city. Thanks again for all the artists. Thanks, Steve, for talking a little bit, presenting and sharing this with the commissioners.
Thank you so much. I'll be working with Nick and Adriana.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, so moving on, we have 8A, and this is an update to the Parks and Recreation Commission work plan. I believe we wanted to believe we were missing Campos, who unfortunately isn't here today either. So is this something that we want to discuss or table until the next meeting?
I'll leave that to the commission. I mean, I think the only updates I have are that many of our subcommittees have been meeting on a somewhat regular basis to talk through updates and just brainstorm ways that we can improve these different program areas. So thank you all for participating in those meetings and taking time out of your busy schedules to make that all happen. But yes, I think the intent tonight was to get input from Commissioner Campos on which committees she'd like to participate in. And since she's not here tonight, it may be best to table this again.
Okay. Yeah, no, and then I also encourage everyone in their work plan, if they do something, are involved throughout the month in between meetings, when we do have those discussions with the commissioners, in the beginning of the agenda. I think I would personally really like to hear what's going on, what everyone's working on, what they're excited about, so that I can also get excited about them.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I would echo that sentiment, Abel. I think that's a great time in the meeting to provide those kind of updates, along with any updates that any commissioners might have as liaisons to different program areas as well. And we'll continue to keep the work plan on the agenda as one of our last items every night, so that folks can provide any updates that they might have on any of the work plan areas. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's any other commissioners that want to chime in on the work plan and what we've worked on so far, but floor is open for that too.
Comments from the commission?
I'm looking at the list. I'm like,
No worries. Yeah, no, it's a good reminder to look at the sections that we have been assigned to. So if there is no comments or questions, this is just being presented to us. There's not necessarily any action that we need to take, unless you want to take some action. But if there is none, then we can move on. And yeah, we've reached the end of our meeting. So just a reminder, August 16th is when we will be meeting next month, not the first Monday like we usually do, 16, just to spread it out a little bit more. And again, it was good seeing everybody. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next month. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night, you guys.
Thank you.
Good night.